Beautifully situated on an island between Upper and Lower Lough Erne in Northern Ireland is the ancient city of Enniskillen, the charter of which dates back to 1612, in the tragic days of King James I, whose soldiers were rebuffed by the courageous people of Enniskillen. This old castle of the Maguires played an important part in the defense of the town, and it stands today as one of the most historic shrines in the province of Ulster. Ulster, by the way, has a liberal form of self-government, but it is closely linked with Great Britain in the fiscal union known as the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. The round towers in the old castles may have originated from the individual round towers that are still to be seen throughout all of Ireland, characteristic landmarks dating back to prehistoric times. The Cathedral of Downpatrick in County Down stands on one of the sites on which St. Patrick once preached, and our Irish guide informed us that this is one of the places where St. Patrick is buried. Regardless of where it is, the fact remains that the patron saint of Ireland and his followers were vital factors in the education of the Irish race, spreading knowledge and appreciation for architecture and beauty at a time when most of what is now called the civilized world was in the primitive shadow of ignorance. Historians have not yet solved the origin of Irish crosses, but here is an excellent example of a reconstructed cross marked by reverence and artistic imagination. The peat industry, which thrives principally in the rural districts of Ireland, is one of unusual interest. Incidentally, what is known to us as peat is referred to in Ireland as turf. This turf acts as a good substitute for coal and wood, for Ireland has no coal mines and very little woodland. Chiefly because of this, the poorer classes who cannot afford to buy imported coal are obliged to use turf for their fuel. This turf, when properly dried and burned, gives off an intense heat and very little smoke. Tons of it are carted in from the bogs and shipped to various little ports along the seacoast of Ireland. After removing an upper layer of soil, the turf is dug with an oddly shaped implement called a shame. Scientists claim that this turf accumulates on the surface of the earth at the rate of 1 foot per 1,000 years. At the end of the day, we pause for a night's lodging at Port Rush, a popular summer resort in County Antrim, not far from which stands the famous old castle of Dunluce, now in the fascinating glow of twilight. No doubt in days of old, when nights were bold and Dunluce was new, romantic eyes looked out upon the sea and dreamed as we dream now. But upon viewing this old landmark in daylight, our sentimental thoughts of the previous evening are shattered by a few historic facts, one of which concerned a terrible storm in 1639, when part of the castle was blown into the sea. Continuing our journey, we visit old County Down, which is noted for its rolling green hills and mountains, varying panoramas of pastoral beauty. Ireland is swept by westerly winds, which bring a great deal of rain during the season, from the middle of July through September, and from December to the middle of May. The downpour is not torrential, but steady, and most of the time the people do not appear to be aware that it is raining, probably because they are born in it and consider it a natural condition. Here, where the mountains of Mourne sweep down to the sea, we behold the Irish landscape at its best, and we find it easier to understand the inspiration that has moved so many of the bards of Ireland to immortalize the beauty of their country in poetry and song. On the seafront of County Down stands the town of Bangor, another popular summer resort, formerly the seat of a monastery which did much to spread culture throughout the British Isles. Peacefully snuggled in a cove on the coast of County Antrim is the little village of Cushenden, noted for its excellent stream and deep-sea fishing. The coast of Antrim faces the North Channel, where commercial fleets find their choice catches of deep-sea fish. This rocky promontory is Carrick a Reed, or the Rock in the Road, so called because it intercepts salmon moving round the coast. A unique attraction in this region is the Carrick a Reed swinging bridge, formed of planks laid two abreast and tied to ropes, a single rope serving as a handrail. And now we come to the most famous natural wonder in Ireland, the Giant's Causeway, every section and subsection of which bears some fanciful name bestowed by the fisher folk for identification purposes, long before this natural phenomenon began to attract the modern tourist. The group of massive basaltic columns on the face of the cliffs are known as the Giant's Organ, which, according to our Irish guide, plays once in 7 years, and then only 2 tunes. Geologists say these stone blocks were formed during some long past subterranean disturbance, during which hot lava rose to the surface and on cooling took these curious shapes. But Irish tradition gives another explanation. The Scottish giant, so the legend goes, threatened Finn McCall, an Irish warrior, with a beating, but he wouldn't come to Ireland because he was afraid to swim the channel. Whereupon Finn built a stony highway across the sea to the shores of Scotland, thereby enabling the giant to cross on foot, after which he was badly defeated by Finn McCall. That's the Irish of it, but we have yet to hear the Scottish version. These slabs, remnants of that legendary road, are 15 to 20 inches in diameter. A similar formation exists on the Scottish shore, almost directly opposite, resembling the ruins of a roadway built by Titans, using these enormous paving stones. Aside from the fascinating yarns of folklore, it is certain that the Giant's Causeway is a natural amphitheater, frescoed and emblazoned by the wondrous powers of creation, in the midst of which we mortals stand in awe. Verily, there are more things in heaven and earth than we have dreamed of in our philosophy, and we can only hope that time and tide may someday reveal the grand mysteries of creation. And this is the thought that we take with us as we say farewell to the Giant's Causeway.